Welcome to the Unapologetic Educator here on Substack. I am your educator's favorite educator and soon to be Doctor of Education, Miss Tiffany JaNishia, the author, the creator, the founder of the Unapologetic Educator, coming on to chat with you this Sunday evening about our amazing summer series that has been going on since June. We are winding down very quickly. We only have about 3 more weeks because there is a bonus week included. So I wanted to get on so that you can put a face and a voice to the words on your screen, in your email, in your post. I won't be before you long, but I want to kind of just give a brief overview of the Unapologetic Educator as well as a quick recap on the different posts that you've been seeing, get your views, your viewpoints, share anything that you take away from this blog, this series, whatever you want to call it, and just want to hear from you. So again, thank you for jumping on. I know that this is dinner time for some people. This is family time. So it's okay if you are not able to get on live. Go ahead and drop in the comments hashtag live or hashtag replay. I will have this available on Substack if it continues to allow me to be great. And I also put this on my social media, Facebook at teach underscore incorporated or Instagram teach underscore INC. So it'll be a number of places where you can check this out. Anyway, let's get started. So I started this blog just kind of on a whim back in February, March. I heard about Substack and I'm like, what is this? What is what is all this? And I've been wanting to start an education blog for some time now. And I tried different platforms. I tried Tumblr for a while. I just tried journaling, and none of the platforms that I tried were feasible or conducive to what I was creating. So then I heard about Substack and I kind of was looking around. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is neat. All right. I could do notes. I could do posts. All right. So if you go back in my earlier posts, you will notice that there wasn't really a theme going on in the first few episodes, as I call them, or the first season, if you will, because I was still trying to get my feet wet. I was just kind of like just talking, just giving y'all just whatever just comes off my mind. And so as I know near the end of the school year last year, this last May, I decided to do something for my educator. So I am a 23 veteran in the field of education. I am a 16th year teacher going into my 17th year of teaching this school year. And I have been teaching at my current school for 8 years, going on 9 years. And as I approach the end of my doctoral degree, I decided I wanted to do some more of education consulting and teaching the teachers and providing teachers with the tips, the skills, the strategies, the keys to success, which is the name of my business, to help them become better educators and become an amazing educator as I am. So that's kind of how this summer series came about. I looked at it as the summer is your time to rest, educators, but it's also your time to recharge, revamp, rebrand yourself as a teacher, and come back into the school year much, much stronger than you left the previous school year. So that is kind of how the Educator Rest and Rebuild Summer Series came about because I want educators to take away from this series, of course, first and foremost, of course, rest because it's been a long year, y'all. And but also rebuild yourself to become that teacher that you are, revamp yourself, rebrand yourself so that you can go into this next school year amazing and even better than before. So let's look at, and if you see me looking over, I have my notes on this side though. But let's look at week one. So, week one, we looked at before the lesson plans, reintroducing yourself. So, before you can even start, and if you haven't read any of the blog, no worries. I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm just going to give highlights of what each post was talking about. But definitely, I do encourage you to go back and check out the full post for yourself, as well as make sure you hit subscribe if you are not a subscriber And if you want the freebies that I offer in my post, definitely upgrade your subscription to a paid subscription for only $5. Yes, $5 is the cost of a McDonald's $5 meal deal. So if you want the freebies to help you this school year, definitely upgrade to become a paid subscriber. So week one was all about before you write that lesson plan, plan that lesson, plan that day, you have to know who are you as an educator. Now this question could be a loaded question for many of you. This question could be something that you looking like, I'm a teacher? Well, yeah, you are, but who are you more than just a teacher? What is your core values? And I also created a freebie for all of my paid subscribers called the Educator Identity, where in it you look at who you were as a teacher. What do you want to bring? Who do you want to become as a teacher? We're getting rid of the lesson plans, the curriculum checklist, the pacing guides, and we're focusing on just you right now. Why did you go into teaching? Why did you go into the classroom? Why are you still here after those students and got on your nerves for the 2011th time? You are here for a reason. So before you start planning, before you start prepping, before you start creating the cute classroom, take a minute, sit down, journal, grab your educator identity workbook from me, and ask yourself, who am I as a teacher? Who are you becoming as an educator? What core values do you want to show up for yourself and in the classroom this year? If you already know who you are as an educator, I would love to hear from you. Drop it in the comments below. Let me know. Who are you as an educator? Me going into this educator game for the 17th year of teaching, my 24th year in education, my core values of education and teaching is to empower, enrich, and educate. I want to be your educator's favorite educator, the educator that's real life, that speaks real life, teaches real life, and just takes learning to an entire different level. I'm a middle school ELA teacher, teaching grades 5 through 8. And my goal when I teach ELA is to teach ELA in a way you've never seen before. And if you've ever seen me teach, and maybe you'll see me this year, maybe I'll do some videos. But if you ever seen me teach, I teach ELA different than no other because I teach it real life. I want to make reading more interesting to our students, especially our Black and Brown students, because already students across the globe do not like to read at all. So my goal is to make sure that you look at learning, look at reading, look at writing from a different lens, and you can relate it to your real life. So that is my educator identity. I want to know what's yours. So that was week one. Week two, after we figure out who we are as an educator, what our purpose is, what our core values are, you want to look at the unit plans. Now, when I say unit plans, when I say lesson plans and pacing guide, don't panic. That's the title of week two. No panic attacks when we talk about lesson plans. We're looking at unit plans and lesson plans from a different angle. We're turning it on its side. We're looking at it more intentionally, more purpose driven, and ensuring that our lesson plans can align with the standards that our admin team gives us. So I also created a freebie plan with your power template to help you teach it how you feel it. That's my phrase when I teach. I teach it how I feel it. I take the standards, I take the skills, I take whatever the kids need for that particular week or month, and I teach it how I feel it. I relate it, I make it intentional, I make it purposeful. But before you can make it purposeful, you have to know what? Who you are as an educator. See how all this align? So go check out week two, unit plans without the panic attack, and ask yourself, are your lesson plans aligned with who you are as a teacher? Are you teaching intention? Are you teaching purpose? And are you teaching meaningful? Week three was all about you can't teach kids who you don't know. Now, we come into this new school year, y'all. Some kids are kids that we've seen before and we've had for years and years. But most kids, we don't know them. Do not, I repeat, do not go into this school year thinking, all right, I'm going to teach all 27 of you kids, and I don't even know who you are. You want to first start off by building a relationship. with your class, with your kids. Me, I will be going into my third year teaching my same students that I had since fifth grade. I have the fortunate part at my school where I get to loop around with my kids. I had my homeroom at fifth grade. I looped with them in sixth, and I'm going to loop with them this year in seventh grade. So I have already cultivated and built the relationships. I'm sorry, the relationships with my students. So I kind of know them already. I know their likes, their dislikes, their habits. But in the case that you are not able to loop around with your kids, you want to make sure you create the culture, which we're going to be getting into later on. Create the culture, create the community. I set my class up as a community, as a family, and we rock with that. We roll with that. That's how we function throughout the year. And this also helps your classroom management, but it also makes it fun and enjoyable for you when you can have a theme, so to speak, in your classroom. You have less issues, less fights, less arguments, because you already set the foundation, you already set the parameters that your classroom is a safe haven for your kids. Get to know their lives, get to know what they're going through, what they're thinking. Be able to be more than just a teacher, because we are. We are more than just teachers. We are more than just educators. We are their parent, their home away from home. So before you can start teaching reading, math, science, social studies, art, PE, any of those subjects, you have to know your students first. You have to think about connection before content. I'll say it again, connection before content. Classroom culture is the curriculum. That is a curriculum in itself. Our school, we typically have a 1 week to 2 week classroom culture camp where for just 2 weeks straight is nothing but classroom management, expectations, guidelines, how you're supposed to function, how you're supposed to walk, how you're supposed to do this. We don't teach any content, but we do teach classroom culture. So if your students don't feel like they matter, they don't feel seen, then they won't show up. And that's on period. So that is week 3. Being able to teach the kids that you don't know, being able to build the connection, build the relationship. The question I want you to think about as you're going into this new school year, after you identify who you are as an educator, after you have planned your lesson plans with purpose, with meaning, with intention, then start thinking about what are you going to do differently to build real classroom culture. I know that's a loaded question, but don't just think cute little songs and routine. Think about how am I this year, 25, 26, going to build that real connection with my students? And I do have a freebie that I'm going to be sending out this week called Know Your Kids Survey Toolkit, Your Classroom Culture Blueprint, and a reflection guide to rebuilding the room with relationships first. So, 3 different freebies you're going to be getting if you are a paid subscriber. So, if you are not, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and upgrade your subscription to pay for only $5 so that you can get these 3 freebies and have the best classroom connection ever. So that is week 3. We're already into week 3. We've identified who we are as an educator. We've identified how we're going to plan our lessons with meaning, with purpose, with intention. And we figured out a plan on how we're going to teach those kids so we don't know how we're going to build that connection. If you are just now joining me, I am your educator's favorite educator, soon to be Doctor of Education, Tiffany JaNishia, the unapologetic educator, the positive disruptor of education, coming to you with a live check-in for our Educators Rest and Rebuild Summer Series, just going through the first 5 weeks of this series, giving some tips, some additional strategies, some additional viewpoints, hearing from you about what you have received from this series and to let you know what's upcoming for the remaining weeks. Go ahead and drop hashtag live if you are watching live. Drop hashtag replay if you are watching the replay. Definitely hit the subscribe button so that you can always know when I'm dropping a new post. Post drop every Monday at 10 a.m. So you always know when you're getting a post, whether in the Substack app or your email as well. So moving into week 4. Week 4 was all about no more dancing for attention. Man, listen. I think this is probably my favorite post because sometimes I feel like, and drop it in the comments if you feel this way. Do you feel like that you are an entertainer when you're in the classroom? I'm gonna just wait right here. hmm I feel like I'm a whole entertainer. I'm a comedian. I gotta do a song and dance. I gotta stand on my head. I gotta do all the things to get these kids to buy in. But let me tell you, we are not entertainers. We are educators. So if you want to engage your student, you have to think about the three R's. You have to, one, make it relevant. So make your content relevant to your students. So that means sometimes, and admin, if you listening, cover your ears. Sometimes you have to flip or switch up and pivot your lesson plan just a bit and teach to your students. Admin, you ain't hear that. So you got to make sure your content is relevant. You got to make sure you build the relationship. That was from week 3. And then you have to make sure there is rigor. Now, I love rewards and incentives, and I do use it in my classroom. However, rewards, TikTok, brain breaks is not going to bring engagement. It's going to bring the J factor. If you are teach like a champion, the joy factor, it's going to bring the fun, but the engagement is going to be, can your students relate to what is being taught? Mm, I'm going to hold that right there. Can your students relate to what is being taught? Can it hit them hard? Can it hit them right here in the heart? Can it hit home for them? And sometimes that means being able to take your standards to a different level, being able to take the standards for your state and flipping it to make it real and personal. Being able to build that relationship with your students, make that connection, and then have a certain type of rigor in your classroom. So my students, they think I am the meanest, hardest teacher ever. I mean, in a sense, I am. However, I just have a very high rigor. I hold my students to a higher standard. I push my students to a different level because I know that they can do it. I don't just settle for less. That's what I mean by rigor. So have a certain type of level of work ethic in your classroom that pushes your students, that makes them think. I tell my students, if you don't get anything from this class, this ELA class this year, you're going to be a critical thinker, reader, and writer. And I hold them to that standard. So if you want real engagement for this school year, don't just be an entertainer. Don't do all the fun songs and the raps that we see on YouTube and TikTok and IG, but have the three R's. Make it relevant, build the relationship, and have high rigor. The question I want you to think about for week 4 when you're reading that is, what is one intentional engagement shift that you're going to commit to this year? So if you didn't have high engagement this year, think about what can you do differently to build and increase that high engagement. There is a freebie coming out this week for week 4, and it's our engagement redefined framework. It's our building connection over compliance toolkit, where you're going to get reflection prompts, mini lessons, check-ins that foster and create curiosity um, over just this is what I have to do. You're also going to get an I'm interested because student inventory. So do an inventory or a check in like this with your students. Why would they be interested? Are you interested in the content? Because if you're not interested, then guess what? Your students won't be interested either. So that is week 4. If you are enjoying or liking what I'm putting down, just give me some hearts right now. Let me know in the comments if you enjoying this. If you are an educator that is still struggling with anything that is going on in the field of teaching, stay to the end because I got something for you. All right, week 5, which we just completed, was all about you or the algorithm. Now, I have a master's in teaching and learning with technology. So I am a technology head. Like I love technology. Like I have turned my entire classroom into a paper-free classroom. But I want to ask yourself, are you teaching your kids or is technology teaching your kids? Hmm. Because you can be a paper-free classroom, but are you the leader of that classroom or is technology the leader? Are your kids spending 90% of their time on the computer or are they spending 90% of their time in small groups in your face, you're in their face? Hmm. If you're questioning that, go check out week 5 because tech has a post. And I want you to repeat after me. The tech tools should serve you, not silence you. Mm, let me say that again. The technology tools should serve you, not silence you. You should not be using technology to have a quiet classroom. Yep, I said it. I'm allowed to. Don't think technology should just put them on the computer so that you could get some work done today, or put them on the computer so you can have an easy day. No, they should work with intention. Going back up to week 3, I believe it was when we talked about, or week 2, I'm sorry, when we talked about planning with a purpose. Your technology tools should not be a babysitter. They should not be a silencer, but they should be able to serve you and your students. AI is great. I love AI. I use it with intention. I use it with purpose. I teach my students how to use AI with intention and purpose. But it should also amplify your brilliance and their brilliance. It should not replace you as a teacher. Let me say that again. AI is great. It's amazing if you use it right. It should not be a replacement for you as a teacher. So in week 5, we talked about the balance between digital and ed tech and moving with intention. And there will be a freebie coming out this week. Again, if you have not received your week 3, 4, 5 freebies, just hold on. You will be getting it if you are a paid subscriber. It's been a week, it's been a couple of weeks. But as you know, in education, quality takes time. So you will be getting your freebies if you are a paid subscriber. And if you are not, go ahead and upgrade that subscription right now for only $5. But you will be getting a week 5 freebie about the top free tools list that doesn't necessarily have to be technology, but how technology can serve you better. And just, I want you to tell me which tool are you testing out first. So that was our week 1 through 5. Week 1 again was we talked about who are you as an educator. So before the lesson plan, before the Q classroom, before all of that, who are you as an educator? Why did you get involved in education? Week 2, we looked at planning with a purpose. No more panic attacks when you gotta write that lesson plan and submit it by Sunday night. I know. Yeah, I know. My deadline is Thursday morning, but no more panic attacks when you gotta write that lesson plan. Week 3, we talked about not teaching kids that you don't know. So building the relationship first, getting to know them inside first. Week 4 is no more dancing for attention. We are not entertainers, y'all. We are educators. So don't entertain your student by doing a song and dance, but entertain and engage and use the 3R method, being relevant, building the relationship, and having rigor. And then week 5, not letting technology be your teacher. You are the teacher in that classroom. So that is week 1 through 5, y'all. Yeah, we are moving along quite nicely. So before I get into what is next, I want to open this up because I want you to tell me 3 things in the chat. What post shook you the most? What resonated with you? Which post resonated with you? Drop it in the chat. What changes have you already started making as new school year is about to start up? I know educators, we don't want to think about it because it's only July, but yeah, it's about to start. It's about to start for some states. They already went back already in July. Other states are going back August. Other states are going back in September. So after reading week 1 through 5, what changes have you already made? And what's still hard? I want to know in the comments because I am your educator's consultant. So if anybody, any teachers, any schools are having trouble with classroom management, building your culture, wall culture, because I am like the queen of culture. I believe that your students, those distracted students who are always looking around, can also still learn. So if there's lesson planning, if there's anything that you are struggling with and you need some help with, in the field of education or classroom teaching, definitely reach out to me, info at KEYZ, the number two, success, inc.org. That's info at KEYZ, the number two, success, inc.org. Reach out to me. Drop me an email. Let me know. I will definitely come out to your school and do a professional development for you, your teachers, your school, your staff, and help you become the best teacher that you can be. So, again, definitely let me know in the comments right now about what post resonated with you the most. What changes have you already made after reading 1 through 5? And what is still hard? What is still kind of lurking? I'm going to give you a few minutes to go ahead and think about that. Drop that in the chat. Let me know what's going on. If you are just now joining, I'm about to jump off in a few. But if you are just now joining, I am your educator's favorite educator, soon to be the doctor of education, the unapologetic educator, the positive disruptor of education, Miss Tiffany JaNishia, the CEO, founder, creator of the Unapologetic Educator. And this is our midweek check in, just checking in to see how you are enjoying the summer series, the Educators Rest and Rebuild series. All right. So, start coming up our last few episodes, if you call them, is we're getting into week 6, which drops tomorrow at 10 a.m. So make sure you have subscribed if you haven't already. And we're talking about don't just set the rules, set rhythm and system that matter. Don't just set the rules, set set rhythms and systems that save your sanity and matter. That is our week 6. This is going to be a very important one. Week 7, we're looking at how to make our parents our partners because we know parent involvement is a big thing and that can save our lives if we make our parents our partners. And then week 8 is all about all gas, no brakes. So what you can do before you get to that burnout, because I don't want my teachers getting burnt out in October and November. So all gas, no brakes. So we're gonna talk about how to fix that burnout. And then stay tuned for August 4th because I have a special bonus episode for all of you as well. So definitely stay tuned, definitely subscribe, definitely go back and read 1 through 5. Comment in Substack, comment via email, upgrade to our paid subscription so you can get the freebies. And we're going to become the best teacher out here that we can be. So, I have an action step for all of my educators. Y'all ready? If you have been enjoying and loving this series and you are still doing it for the free, because we know we love the free, I suggest and recommend that you treat yourself to a paid subscription for only $5. It is much cheaper than your iced coffee that you get from Starbucks or Dunkin'. And it gives you access to me, to the templates, to the reflections, to the skills, to the strategies, to the resources. And I think I'm going to do something even better. For the first 10 people to subscribe tonight, tonight only, I will give you one of my freebies, the Anchor Charts series, where I've created over 46 different anchor charts for reading and writing and classroom culture and management that you can have already created, just printed out on very large paper, 24 by 36 paper, and you have your wall culture. So the first 10 people to upgrade their subscription to $5, you will also get the Anchor Up, your 46 plus colorful pages of anchor charts for reading, writing, and classroom management, all created by Keys of Success. Let's Teach Beyond the Classroom. Yes, and it has to be before 11:59 tonight. The first 10 to upgrade their subscription to $5. Not only will you get the freebies from the Educator Summer Series, but you will also get the Anchor Up freebie as well because we all love us some anchor charts. I just did mine just recently. So that is what I'm giving you. If you enjoyed this live, definitely give me some hearts. Let me know in the comments. Invite your teacher besties. Share your favorite week in the comments. Share your favorite week on IG and tag me if you're on Facebook at Teach underscore incorporated or tag me on Facebook at Dr. Tiffany McDonald. Tag me on Instagram at Dr. Tiffany McDonald or at teach underscore INC. And let's continue to grow, y'all. Let's continue to take this space to an entire different level. Invite your teachers, invite your paraprofessionals, invite your instructional aides, because we aren't just surviving teaching. We are teaching with a purpose and we're teaching with power. So I love y'all. I went over about 3 minutes. So I'm gonna give you back your Sunday. I'm gonna give you back your time. But thank you for hanging out with me, checking in with me on the Educators Rest and Rebuild Summer Series. Y'all have been amazing. Definitely shout out in the comments. Let me know what y'all like, love, could do better, could do different. I'm open to feedback. Thank y'all for showing up tonight. Thank y'all for choosing to do this work because, education is a hard job. But I mean, what? Somebody got to do it right. That kind of work doesn't always show up in data. It doesn't always show up in paycheck, Lord knows, but it shows up in your peace and rewards. Remember, set your clock, set your alarms that week 6 will drop on Monday. Don't just set the rules, set the rhythm. We're talking procedures, routines, and systems, and how to run your room with grace and grit your teeth exhaustion. Until the in between time and in the meantime, rest, rebuild, revamp, hydrate, reflect, and remember the most powerful thing in your classroom isn't on your syllabus, it's on you. See y'all next week. See y'all when I see y'all unapologetically.